Hey guys, it's Monica at Academic Phoenix Plus, and today is going to be a tutorial on particles, specifically how to create a swarm. So hopefully you know a little bit about particles, but I'm just going to show you guys how I create a swarm. All right, so this is a subscriber request. Created it for fun on Instagram, and somebody sent me a message saying like, could you make a tutorial on that? So here it is. This is for you. All right, so we're going to be under FX, and under N particles, we have something called a particle tool, and let's go to the options, and I'm going to reset my tool. So the particle tool basically means that on default, it's you can actually click around and create one individual particle at a time. And when I press enter, we now have a grid of particles. It's a little bit hard to see, but if I go into wireframe mode, click 4 on your keyboard, you can see the actual particles, right? And if I go into my outliner, which is mysteriously disappeared, so no problems, Windows outliner, you'll see that I have a particle as well. So I'm going to delete that. And over here to the left is the tool that I just recently used. So double click on that and it's going to give me the tool settings for the particle tool. And this time I might want to consider sketching. So sketching means that if I have this on, I'll start plugging this away. And then when I press enter, I'm going to get a bunch of dots for particles, which is really cool. And it's also separated at a certain length, right? Deleting that, going back to this. So if I want to kind of stretch out the intervals, I can, which gives me control over my creation of my particles. So next is creating a grid. So a grid by default is has 0.5 particle spacing. And if I click once and I click twice and I press enter, I'm going to get a flat grid. And every single unit basically has a particle, which is pretty cool. Deleting that again, going back to this. I can increase my particle spacing by of course, increasing the value. So let's say, for example, let's pick a simple number like 3. Again, I can click here, press enter, and now I have 3 unit spacings. And you can see here you have 1, 2, and 3 between particles. So that kind of gives you control over how many particles you want. Going along here, keep on going, we can also do what's called a text field. So I can either draw my particles or I can use my text tool. The text fields means that I can actually go in and type in an XYZ, XYZ. Now I'm going to reset my tool. So usually this is what it looks like. As you can see, I've got 0.5 spacing. It's going to go in the negatives 2.5 and the positives 2.5. So if I click once and then press enter, and then you have a box. This box, if I can get to a good angle, you'll notice that there's particles within each section at different length, and it goes into the negative and the positive. So 1, 2, 0.5, right? So this gives you an idea of how to control those particles. So I'm going to delete that. And let's go ahead and change this to, just because I like everything above the grid, 0, 0, 0. And on the positive, let's go to 5, 5, 5, just for fun. And then for here, I really don't want that many. So I might want to say every 1. Let's see what we get. And there you go. We have a particle grid. So now I can take this particles and actually scale them up. So you're not limited to what it's provided for you. So I can always move them around if I want to. Now, what's great about this is that it's particles, so therefore it can be driven by fields. And that's basically what we're going to be doing, is driving these particles with fields to make it look like it's swarming. And then we're going to attach a piece of geometry to it. So let's go ahead and add a field. So one of my personal favorites is called Newton. And Newton is going to come in here. I'm going to press play. And what it does is that it's going to start sucking in the particles and then pushing them out. I'm going to open up my attributes. And this is looking pretty neat. It's kind of fun little particle system. And I'm going to press, you can't really see it. I'm going to remain at 4. And you can see that it's already kind of looking like a swarm as the particles go around it. But it's a little too predictable. It looks too much like Newton. So what I'm going to do is move this aside. I'm going to grab this other the particles again, and then go into field solvers, and then maybe even add another Newton if I want to. This time I'm going to push it a little bit to this side. So now we're going to get 2 pushes and 2 pulls. right? So some are going to be pulled here, others are going to start getting pulled here, and then pulled away. And then it starts creating this kind of interesting chaos. So just by watching and observing the particles alone, we're getting this interesting looking, almost like swarming field. Now, to push it even further, we can increase the magnitude. So right now the magnitude, it's a 5. I left it at default. If I want it to be stronger, I can increase the magnitude. So that means that this is going to pull a lot harder than the other one. Notice how much of an impact it's causing it. So this one is no longer has as strong of a pull. It's still pulling, but not as strong as this one. So now I'm getting almost like a swarm. Now notice that they are being attracted by this Newton over here, the first one that we made. So we are getting like a push and pull, which is pretty interesting. So I kind of like that look. I might want to stick to that. And just to really add an extra chaos to the madness, there is something called, another solver called turbulence. And turbulence is pretty interesting. And again, I like to put it in the middle. Rewind and press play. And turbulence actually adds noise to the particles. So just to demonstrate what that looks like, I'm going to add like 100. And we're going to see that suddenly the particles are just going crazy. This is causing the particles to have a lot of noise, and therefore that's why it's doing that. But I'm going to decrease it again to 5. I just want a little bit of that chaos to be added, so it's not so perfect. All right, it's looking pretty cool. So I got one that's pulling a little, probably a little too much for my taste, so I'm going to grab this and maybe decrease it to, let's do 7. Rewind and play. Kind of enjoying watching these particles. So assuming like this is like a little bugs and insects, you can see that some of them are just moving around. You can always animate the magnitude if you wanted to maybe get more to come over here and then go back. I mean, there's a lot of things you can kind of do. It's kind of fun. All right, so the particles are looking good. The next part is to how do we add geometry to these little dots. So what we're gonna do is you need a model. I already have a bug. Pink. He's right here. If I press 6, there he is. He's a little firefly, and I'm going to scale him down a little bit, and of course I'm going to freeze the transformations, all that stuff. So the first thing I need to do is select the bug, then the particles, and then go to End Particles Instancer. And now I have a ginormous swarm of bugs. Now you may be asking, why is the bug over here and these little guys are over here, right? So it's because it's not at the center of the grid. So if I move my little bug back to where it was, and then center the pivot, delete the history, and freeze the transformations, it goes into the grid. So it really does matter where this little bug is located. So make sure that your bug is at the center of the origin, something like that, because then that will tell the bug duplicate, or the instance of the bugs, these duplicated bugs, to make sure that they're at the right location. Otherwise, you get unpredictable results like that. Now that it's centered, I can move this and it won't cause any problems. So I'm going to rewind, press play, and now you're going to watch the little bugs go crazy. Now they're kind of big they're humongous. So I'm going to go ahead and scale them a little bit, and you'll see that they do get impacted by that. Rewind and play. And now we can actually watch this little swarm happen. So as you watch the swarm, you're going to notice that, hey, it's working, it looks great, but is it though? All the bugs are facing one direction, and that's not realistic whatsoever. So it's how do we get these little bugs to face the direction of the movement? So lucky for us, Maya is smart. I'm going to open up the attributes. I'm going to go to the particle shape. I'm going to go to the instancer, right? So particle shape instancer. And if I scroll down, I'm looking for aim direction. And one of them is called velocity. So again, I'm going to rewind, press play, and I'm going to watch. Now, if you watch carefully, you're going to see that the bugs are now facing a direction, but you also notice that it's not really facing the right direction. They're finally pointing at a direction, but they're not really pointing at the correct direction. So what I want is for my little bug to actually be rotated this direction. However, you'll notice something when I press play. You'll still notice that they're acting weird. They're still kind of pointing, they're like flying sideways. So what that means is that moving it as a complete object doesn't really work, right? Because I've actually moved the pivot point. What I need to do is go to my vertex, select all the vertices, and then rotate the little bug this direction. So the bug, and I'm going to go to object mode, again, rewind. There you go. So now the bug, oops, and you'll notice that now it's the butt's flying. It's going the right direction, but now it's facing the wrong way. So I rotated it the wrong way. But notice that it's now reacting appropriately. It's actually pointing this direction. The reason why is because the default, it still remains as is, right? So in the channel box, it's got a little bit of scale, it's got a little bit of translate, but the rotation is still 0.000, which is really important. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the vertices here, and I'm going to rotate him the other way. Now I'm going to go back to object mode, rewind, press play, and now the bugs are pointing the right direction. And that is how you create a swarm very quickly, just by using particle systems. And we have 2 newtons and some turbulence. We can grab this little bug, and you can just get him to swarm around. But you can use this with anything. You can create your own little bug, and you can get the little guy to fly around and create a crazy looking swarm. If you want more energy on your swarming, just increase the magnitude. But notice that the little guys are pointing the right way. So that is the basics of particles and how to create a swarm. I hope that was very helpful and that you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think by leaving a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also click on that little bell. That's always really important. And please share. I think this is something fun that you guys can create with your own art that will kind of add an extra fun element into your pieces. So thank you again. Don't forget to check out academicphoenixplus.com for free downloads and a bunch of other cool tutorials, and of course the newsletter to know what's going on with me and my channel. So thank you again, everybody. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you next time.